previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hard Knocks debuted the 2021 season last night on HBO. I watched it, featuring America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And it's funny, this morning, USA Today had a headline, 5 takeaways from Hard Knocks. I started reading it. I'm like, what am I reading this for? I don't need your 5 takeaways. I got a couple. Number one, I was not the biggest Dak Prescott fan. I think people that watch this show know that. I'm less of a Dak Prescott fan coming out of watching this show. What a whiner. What a whiner. Look, I understand you want to take every rep. I get it. You can't take every single rep. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He was very upset
that he couldn't.
That he was pulled early in this training camp a couple weeks ago because they want to give the backups some work. Danny Bonaducci, the backup quarterback. Well, Ben DiNucci's his name, but I call him Danny Bonaducci, which means nothing to you, do you? He was the star of the Partridge Family. Anyways, that was one. Dak, come on, stop whining. Let these other guys have some work. And then, of course, he ends up getting hurt. 2, the biggest one was Jera. When he was talking to the team, I thought it was the head therapist. You said it was the team doctor.
Yeah, it was one of the two.
Yeah. So he's writing with an HB pencil these notes on Dak, talking with the medical staff on the phone. And we all take away different things. But my thing was this. He's eating a McDonald's Egg McMuffin, Jera Jones. And people are saying, well, what's odd about that? He's worth $7-8 billion. How's it he not have a Red Seal chef at his ready? You know, here you go, Mr. Jones. You know, with his choice, an omelet station.
Yeah, exactly. He's got Benedict or something like.
Right. An omelet station, a guy cutting a roast at the end of the table. Jerry, when you're done with the trainer, we have your choice here of ham, roast beef. Do you want that in your omelet, Mr. Jones?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Some leather-lunged New Yorker. He's cheering for the Panthers, but he's behind me, and he was making all these jokes. He's like, yeah, the Panthers are losing by a hair. You know, I heard these Florida fans are rabid, but this is ridiculous. Anyways, and then security came down. Right from everybody, because the rabbit's not hurting anybody. I was kind of hoping the rabbit would crap all over the kids.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Hope you had a great Canada Day long weekend. Hope you're having a tremendous Independence Day. We're coming to you live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport and beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where it's a little cold. It's episode number 1031 of your favorite daytime sports talk show coming at you live on Game Plus Television. We're also Atlanta's NHL show on WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live. We've got Darren Moose Dupont joining us from the NHL's, what is it? The heartbeat of the NHL, the center of the universe. What are we going to refer to Toronto as, Moose? For the center of the universe? Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what they call it. It's I guess not the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL. So we're right in the heart of the, whatever you want to call it, the madness. So we'll call it center of the universe.
Hey,
sure.
Listen, before we haven't been on the air since Friday. We got so much to get to, but Darren and I think, talked on the phone every day this weekend, and you said you caught yourself, and you said you had a welcome to Toronto moment. Do you remember what it was? Do you right off the top remember what it was?
No, what was it?
It was, we were talking about some NHL free agent, and you were like, why wouldn't he want to play for the Leafs? Oh, remember that?
That's right.
I can't remember.
I caught myself thinking that. It was Matt. Was it Matt Duchene or somebody we were talking about? And yeah, I caught myself. Yeah, why wouldn't he want to come to Toronto? I got bid in to my welcome to Toronto moment.
You're officially that. And by the way, I know our radio listeners can't tell, or our podcast listeners, but you're clean shaven right now. What's the deal with that? I notice these things.
I know you do. And you know, it's funny. It took Leanne like 4 hours to notice that I was clean shaven yesterday. I just decided to. I thought, you know what? It's time for a little fresh look. Going out in public, got to be clean, and first impressions matter. So we're going to be clean shaven for a while.
Well, and I was listening to the show Monday on WQEE Radio. We were off, but Ryan O'Radio down there was running Friday's podcast, and I was like, dang, nabbit. The show sounds great on WQEE, and we're all teasing the big announcement. We haven't even got to this on the radio yet for our millions of observers, fans, and adoring public. Moose and I are heading to Charlotte, North Carolina for the USA Football IFAF Championships and the NFL Flag One Flag Championship. 137 teams are there. And our folks, Home Team Live, Tanner and Logan, who brought us in to do this, plus Serena, they're already there. Serena's not there yet. She'll get there on Thursday. But I'm thinking that's why you shaved, because you want to fit in with the youth there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and not be the English professor, stuffy leather patches on your blazer guy, you know, with the beard and the pipe, the normal thing. So that's where we're going.
You got it.
Moose is going today. I nailed you. I got it. Wednesday, I'm going. I'm excited. And Thursday, we'll be broadcasting the show live from UNC Charlotte and the USA Football National Championship. So anyways, we got our crew back. We got the newly married director, Jordan.
How about that?
We got Rick Reagan. Yeah, the big voice guy, Rick Reagan's back. We got producer Clark back. Everybody, right. Everybody's back. Can you hit the quick show horn, please, Jordan? So we're going to start here. And we got a lot to get to. The Toronto Maple Leafs signed forward Max Domi to a $3 million one-year contract Monday. Domi recalls growing up around the Leafs' home arena while his father, Ty, played with the club for more than a decade. Domi is the latest of several signings by Toronto, which also added winger Tyler Bertuzzi, defenseman John Klingberg, and enforcer Ryan Reeves during the weekend. So before we get everybody's take on that, let's open a brand new week with a brand new poll question for our friends at Key Auto Group and Key Yorkton Kia. The Kia Seltos features a bold design, advanced technology, and adaptability, all in a subcompact SUV. Call Key Yorkton Kia at 306-783-2772 or go to keyyorktonkia.com for more information. The 23 Seltos movement that inspires. The question is this: who's winning NHL free agency? And our options, for lack of any better ones, are the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Carolina Hurricanes, the Nashville Predators, or other. We're also running this poll on our Instagram, and the Leafs are winning it there. We just put it up on YouTube and Twitter, so we don't have much of a sample size yet. But whether the Leafs are winning or not, let's bring in the resident Leafs fan that's on camera, Darren Moose DuPont, and are you answering that question, and how do you feel about what the Leafs have done since Saturday?
I'm answering the question by saying I think the Hurricanes are winning free agency. I think they did a lot of things to continue to get better. They're trying to take another step, and the next step for them is really a Stanley Cup or to get to the Cup Finals. They signed what many people thought was the top free agent available, and Dmitry Orlov, a defenseman that is right in the midst of, his prime. And the most underrated thing for me is the Freddie Anderson signing, getting him back. We all talked about how Bob played in that playoff series, but he was still really good. And they've got two goaltenders. The two of them are under contract for less than $5 million combined. So I thought, they've done a really good job. I think Don Waddell there and Rod Brindamore to continue to be a great team. And for Toronto, I was telling Clark in the pre-show, I went through the whole circle of emotions around the Leafs. I thought I was really disappointed when they let Ryan O'Reilly get away. I really didn't like Luke Schenn getting away. I'm a Luke Schenn fan. I like what he brings as a character and leadership. But then I saw how the rest of the weekend unfolded, and Bertuzzi and Domi coming in, Klingberg. I thought, you know what? This is a group that, maybe didn't get better, but as we heard Craig Button on TSN last night say, that Brad Treliving needed to change the DNA of this group. And so clearly he's taken some steps to really change the DNA.
Yeah. And my first thought was this is Ty Domi's, Max Domi's 7th team in 11
Yeah.
seasons.
How about
That
that?
ain't good. I'm like, what's he going after Sillinger's record? 13 team. Now, Silly regarded as a fantastic teammate, a wonderful NHLer for sure. I'm not to say Max Domi isn't, but why are teams not hanging on to Max Domi? There's rumored character issues with him. I just heard some about Ryan Reeves on the weekend, but those are just rumors. God knows there's character rumors about me, and I'm a great guy. So,
How about that?
you know, Brad Treliving clearly isn't concerned, but he didn't address any DNA issues here in Calgary, so whatever. Hopefully he learned, so those are the teams that are winning. I'm not going to get into, we can come back around on who might potentially be losing NHL free agency, but in what I've read on the weekend, you don't got to be Bob McKenzie to know the Flames have had a rough start to free agency, as have the Winnipeg Jets and the Vancouver Canucks, really. So coming up, Andrew Paterson later on in hour one from Winnipeg Sports Talk. Alan May, he's going to pinch hit for Tim Hunter. Tim Hunter sends his regards. He's sick. I guess he's getting it out of the way before the Calgary Stampede. Tim Hunter will join us next month. But Alan May is going to join us from, I think it's Weimer Lake in Minnesota. We'll figure it out when he gets on in hour two. And then Kevin the Medium is going to be with us here in hour two. It is our last day from Ace Casino Airport for a while. As I mentioned, I'm heading to North Carolina tomorrow. Moose is going tonight. Just from the audience, Jeff the Stamps fan says, breaking news. The 2023 4th of July Nathan's hot dog eating contest is in a rain delay. Joey Chestnut will have to wait. Did I see right? There's a 30 for 30 on Joey Chestnut, or there's some documentary out there. Or is it an
Yeah.
E60? Have you seen that? You seen the
I
ads
haven't
for it?
watched it, but I know it's out there.
Okay, I want to see it. I want to see how this guy is still alive after pounding
Yes.
37 hot dogs at once. That doesn't
Speaking
seem
of
right.
documentaries, sorry, while we're on the topic,
Yeah.
because I know you won't bring it up, or did you see the Jerry Jones documentary that was in a bidding war between ESPN and Netflix? Apparently there's a 10-part Jerry Jones documentary coming out soon. I knew you'd be interested, and that'll be worth watching.
I'll tune in, of course. Trenton, Norway says, Norway here. Winning NHL free agency doesn't mean anything until the regular season starts. And although Toronto's the center of the sports and media universe, they are not a city of champions. Oh, shots fired.
How about that?
From Trenton in Norway. Bo Halverson checks in and says, hello, everyone, and happy 4th of July to all the American friends from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And before I go on any further, why this popped into my head yesterday, Saskatchewan's most famous citizen in export is Shannon Tweed. Mic drop. Mrs. Gene Simmons, Mrs. Kiss, end of story. Forget about all the sports greats that we put out there like Gordie Howe and John Ryan, Ryan Getzlaff. We'll never have closure on that. They're all great. But nobody other. Shannon Tweed, that's it. Hey, folks. At Hotel Clique Calgary Airport, we do weddings. A wealth of event and banquet space and all-inclusive packages starting at just $79.95 per person. Inquire at hotelclique.ca. By the way, I was talking to Jamie, the general manager, yesterday. They have a smidge of room during Calgary Stampede, which gets going later this week. Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport. It's wonderful. It's our home away from home, and they do have room here during Calgary Stampede, but it's limited and going fast. And by the way, I noticed, I was sitting there going, who the heck is the Calgary Stampede parade marshal for 2023? There was all this ballyhoo and circumstance last year for Kevin Costner, right? They're talking about it for months leading up. Who's this year's? Breaking news. Do you have any idea? You wouldn't know, Moose. You're in Toronto. All you guys out there care about yourself. Do you know? See, Kevin doesn't know. Nobody knows.
No.
It's Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen.
How about that?
Nothing against him, but I get the sense they broke the bank on John Dutton last year. So they had to rein it in. Rein it in. Jeremy Hansen, the Canadian astronaut. So he goes from flying a rocket ship to a horse. We'll see how that goes later on this week. Point two, the Toronto Blue Jays get back to work tonight when they open a 3-game series against the White Sox in Chicago. Righty Chris Bassett will be on the mound for the Jays as they look to stop a 3-game losing skid and make up some lost ground in the AL East standings. Right winger Lucas Giolito will start for the White Sox. Darren, over to you. You've got all the fun, exciting stories now. You were at the Blue Jays game on the weekend when they got trounced at home on Canada Day. Give us your report.
It was awesome. It was really cool to be there for Canada Day. They went all out with red and white decorations everywhere. That was cool. There was a citizenship ceremony on the field, which I thought was really special.
Nice.
And the new renos. This is my first time in the ballpark since they renoed. The new renos were awesome. And actually, you know, if you want to go up on the fifth deck, way up in, you know, the nosebleeds, it is outstanding. They've got 3 different lounge bar things up there that are beautiful. You can sit and watch and socialize. They've got interactive games and video games and cornhole and all the rest. So that was awesome. And then went to the Argo game last night, the Braley Bowl, and got to see everybody there. It was like I never left Saskatchewan. I mean, we saw Ken Shoveldayoff at the game from Saskatchewan, but then all the usual suspects, Pinball and Murph and everybody else that was there was great. And it was awesome to be there when to see Damon Allen and Daryl Mookie Mitchell get inducted to the Argos all-time list.
Hey, you're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
Back me up.
I only asked you about the Blue Jays. I asked you for the time. I didn't ask you how to build the watch. From the audience, Jake Hughes from the Hughes Sports Podcast writes in and he says, wait, I'm sorry, the Canucks are losing free agency? Carson Soucy for a reasonable deal at 3 years plus, Ian Cole and Teddy Bluger for 1 year? I'm sorry, you're winning it. Triggering Vancouver Canucks fans ain't hard at all. It's like, let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, what about us? Like, chill, dude. Jason in Red Deer says, is it just me or does Dupes look a lot younger since going to Toronto? He shaved. That's what it is, everybody.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cooper Campbell checks in from Mississippi. Happy 4th of July, Rod and Dupes. He's one of my football guys. Rod, here's the thing. I wish I could swear, but I can't because we're on the radio in Atlanta and they don't like swearing down there, and we're on television all across Canada in the daytime. This ain't RP Show After Dark. People are saying, Jeff the Stamps fan says, I thought Shannon Tweed was from Vancouver. No, not even close, bro. Can you turn around? You're not on the show yet. Just enjoy your coffee. Shannon Tweed's from Saskatoon. I looked it up last night. You can't have everybody. You got Pam Anderson. Yeah, I gotta rein it all back in. It's getting out of control on me. Troy in Toronto writes in. He says, I actually gave the CFL another try and went to the Argo game last night. Great stadium, great vibe and product. Didn't see Moose, but did run into Pinball. What a great ambassador for the Argos. Okay, everybody, it's very clear they want to get to the CFL talk, so let's do that. Point 3, the defending Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts said they listened all week to the BC Lions boast about their dynamic defense and decided to save their rebuttal for the field. Defensive back Robertson Daniel had 3 of his team's 6 interceptions as the Argos picked apart the visiting BC Lions 45-24 to remain the CFL's only unbeaten team. Toronto improved to 3-0 while the Lions slipped to 3-1. We'll talk about that and all the rest of Week 4 and tee up Week 5 and NHL Free Agency and all the rest when we return. I've noticed we've picked a few scabs here, and that is always fun. So we'll watch them bleed when we come back to Ace Casino Airport right after this on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Champion.
Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Everybody, Calgary's best attended Sunday afternoon poker tournament is here at Ace Airport Casino with 75-inch TVs at every table. You can get your fill of sports and poker all in one location. Ace Poker, changing the poker landscape. On the way, Andrew Hustler Paterson from Winnipeg Sports Talk, Alan May from Washington Capitals TV, and Kevin the Medium. Darren Moose DuPont is with us. He was at BMO Field last night, so obviously I was having some fun with Moose earlier. I just didn't want you to jump ahead. The Braley Bowl really started out great. It was an 11-point Toronto lead at halftime. They stretched it to a 21-point lead by the time it was all over, 45-24. I'll get to all the other Canadian Football League games in a moment, but Darren, I really appreciated watching your social media, and you were updating our Instagram story from there. What'd you think of BMO Field? Like, I feel like that's a very unheralded stadium, one of the best in Canada. Why can't I hear Darren? Is that okay? Go ahead now. What's up? Something's going on with Darren's audio, and now they say you're fine. Okay, start over, sir.
No, it's unheralded, the stadium. It really is. And I think the biggest reason is because the side you see on television is the side where they don't sell upper deck seats. And so it makes the stadium look empty. And in fact, the other side's full. The ends are fairly decent. The one end wasn't open, but it's a great game day. It was a lot of fun. They've got a passionate fan base. I know it's not huge, but a passionate fan base. And the game was awesome. And we saw, when you watch that game that, BC didn't have their best, but Toronto is the best team in the Canadian Football League. You and I kind of talked about that and knew that going into the game, and we proved it coming out of the game that they're the better team.
I don't totally understand it, why it is with the CFL. It's like the booty call, if you will, or the girl that you don't want to take out in public. You know what I mean? CFL for a lot of Canadians is that 2 a.m. phone call, but we're not going on a date. I'm not taking you out. Nobody's going to see me with you, but you're okay when the lights are off because it's on national television. Well, what are you laughing at? It's true. I don't get CFL doesn't help itself in its what do they say? You're responsible for your own image. No, who's responsible for your image? You. So whatever. I had those crowd concerns too. I saw people's Twitter. They're like, why don't they put everybody on the other side of the stadium? It'll look full. Don't know. Don't care. I'm just going to watch what's going on the field. And Vernon Adams really struggled. I saw our friend Doug Brown from Bombers Radio in Winnipeg saying he is who we thought he was. And maybe he is. Like, I really, really, really like Vernon Adams. That's why I have no inkling or interest in coaching, because I just get too attached to the players. I can't detach myself. I love Vernon Adams as a guy. So his 6 interceptions last night were one off a CFL record. Who else was looking up and Googling interception record single game in the CFL? I was. Sonny Wade, Bernie Faloney, and there was a third. I actually thought Lancaster had it. But he's probably a BC Lions record for 6 picks in a game, I would think. And you were there. Is he the sole reason the Lions lost the game? Because that's what a lot of people are saying.
No, he's not. I mean, they offensively played better than Toronto did in that opening quarter, but, a special teams touchdown. You talk about the interception. Toronto was working with a short field. So, yeah, it did really hurt the team. You can't throw 6 interceptions and win a football game. I would imagine that would be, you go down that list of those guys who had 6 or 7 interceptions. I can't imagine any of them won the game. Maybe one did, but I'd have to go back and do a little more digging on that. Look at Vernon Adams still threw for almost 400 yards in the football game. Like when he was, early on, he was playing really well and finding Hatcher as his favorite target. They looked pretty good. They moved the ball up and down the field. He's got touch. I don't think he had a horrible game despite the mistakes. By the end, he was just throwing it up, right? He's throwing it with nothing to lose. So that's going to help pile up those interceptions. But it was a tough night for Vernon Adams. But I don't think he's a problem. I really don't. I think he's going to be fine.
Well, you got to dance with the one who brought you. He's their guy. They raced out to a 3-0 start. I loved the Canadian press story I wrote earlier that said the Argos said they listened all week to the BC Lions bragging about their defense, and they wanted to go out and. To be honest, I don't feel like they were bragging about it. If you know Rick Campbell and Neil McAvoy, they're the least braggadocious guys in sport, let alone foot. They weren't. It was fact. I saw their PR guy, Matt Baker, good friend of ours, tweeting, it's now 30 defensive series. The Lions have not allowed an offensive touchdown. Jinx. It was right around the time they were returning a touchdown. Argos, and then it was bang, 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 bang. So all Matt was doing was pointing out fact. I didn't personally feel like the BC Lions were bragging about it, and to be honest, they had a lot of down years there. Yeah, I don't see that. I see that with Winnipeg, though. Winnipeg needs to pipe down. They went into Montreal, which I'll get to the other games here, and they licked the Alouettes 17-3 Saturday night in a rain-soaked game, and then they trashed the Alouettes and McGill on their way out of town on Twitter. It's like, Winnipeg, I think it's time that you do better and be better. You know what I mean? You're winning the game. You're trashing Regina's Pizza. You're trashing Montreal's game atmosphere. You're losing me. You're not winning with class. Darren, what do you think?
It's post-game trash talking. You know I'm not a fan of it. And they could take a lesson from history. And every team that's gone on to have success at a high level for a long period of time, I mean, this would be considered a long period of time in the CFL, they were the lovable losers, right? Saskatchewan went through that through the 90s, right? You feel bad for them, and then when they start to get on the rise, you feel really good. They've deserved this. It's been 29 years. I mean, let's go.
I was happy for them, yeah.
You're happy for them, and then they're on top, and you're happy. It's like they deserve to ride this wave for a while. And then it flips, and you get cocky, right? And you get arrogant. And that's when you start to turn fans off. When you go from being the humble guy who's just happy to finally be there to the cocky, arrogant, we expect to be here every week and every year, and we're better than you, and you start telling people like you're better than them, then it starts to rub fans the wrong way. They're kind of flirting with that now.
Well, from the account straight out of bed in Winnipeg, and the audience goes, "Oh, come on. I'm just telling you how I feel." And Darren's saying you didn't like if we're going to tell you we're better than you. I don't have a problem with that. Keep it in between the white lines and say whatever the hell you want and do whatever the hell you want. You want to go celebrate and jump in a motorboat in the end zone? You want to jump in a hot tub in the end zone? You want to do fancy touchdown celebrations in the other team's park? I don't have a problem with any of that. But when you're trashing the people and the city, I got a problem with that, and that's what Winnipeg's doing now. And by the way, I was, as you know, the voice of the Riders during the rise, the decade of decadence, and then the fall. So I have intimate knowledge with that. And I'm sure Winnipeg's making no apologies, because I remember thinking at the time, if I have to choose between being pitied or hated, I'll take hated 10 times out of 10. So I'm sure Winnipeg doesn't care because they know the other. But I'm saying just pipe down. Yeah. Hang on, Moose. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says the Lions didn't need to brag. Kevin, the medium, did it all for them. Ba-dum-bum. See?
Did the medium see that one coming?
From Colin in Ottawa, he says the whole stats problem is just so typical for the CFL. How did you guys not test this out before the regular season? Well, I think I'm not going to sit here and feed a fed horse, nor beat a dead horse. We all know the stats are broken and they suck. I'm sitting there trying to add up how many interceptions Vernon Adams had in the game, and I can't find it. I had to go by the announcers saying 5, then 6. Are we going to see 7? We need Stephen Jacobson, Stephen the auctioneer from North Dakota. Do I hear 7? Do I hear 7 or 6.5 or 7? John Ohm in Winnipeg says this. He says, will the CFL ever go back to local blackouts? Nah, I don't want to talk about that. Let's keep it to what's going on the field. Ted in Red Deer says VA has been counted out many times. Now he loses one game and people count him out again. I think he has people right where he wants them. And Leanne in Regina says, yes, finally someone calling out the Bombers other than Rider fans. Thanks, Rod. We've been saying this for years and get crapped on. Leanne, Rider fans have their issues too. So, yes. But I get what you're saying, and thanks for the support. Andrew Hustler Paterson coming in next segment. Ottawa beat Edmonton 26-7 on Friday night, the Toilet Bowl. You were right. You picked Ottawa. I was wrong. I picked the Elks. Quick one. Does Chris Jones coach his last game for Edmonton if they lose this Thursday at Regina?
No, I don't think so. And I think my reasoning is based on money and the cap. I think the organization's handcuffed and they're kind of stuck with him, at least for the short term.
I can answer this one for you. Chris in Ontario, watching on Game Plus TV, says, is Moose checking out the Leafs development camp at Etobicoke this week? I'm not sure where he is in the GTA. I'll handle it. Moose is heading to Charlotte, North Carolina tonight. I'm heading to Charlotte, North Carolina tomorrow. Serena's going on Thursday. We will not be at any NHL development camps. I was hoping to go today, but was informed by the Flames that it doesn't begin until Thursday. And I won't be here. So, hey, a quick one. I'm not going to be on the air tomorrow as I'm traveling. Canada's game of the week in Week 5. Just a quick one. Edmonton at Sask Thursday. Friday, Calgary at Winnipeg in a rematch of the 2001 Grey Cup. Saturday, Ottawa at Hamilton, and Sunday, Montreal at BC in a rematch of the 2006 Grey Cup. What's the game of the week for you?
To be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Saskatchewan back on the field coming out of the bye week.
Yeah.
For me, that's it. Yeah. I like seeing where they're at. I want to see where they're at. I'm curious. You know, I've kind of got some answers, at least in the short term, on what Toronto is, on BC, on Winnipeg. I really am curious now to see where Saskatchewan is coming out of the bye.
I'm voting for that, too. Two things. One, whenever any game Chris Jones is in is my game of the week. He's just so darn entertaining to watch. And then Sask has Trevor Harris in the game, and I talked to Trevor last week. He wants to get on the show. Producer Clark, he wants on. But he looks great, and it should be a free space on the bingo card. From the Bomber fan watching straight out of bed, that guy says, I guess we prefer the Tom Brady, oh shucks, false humility thing. And he says, Keith Jackson famously said, when you've won a lot of games, you have a right to be cocky. That's fair, too. Absolutely. We have the right to not like it and be turned off by it. Moose, I think you're done for the day. So safe travels. See you in Charlotte, my dude.
We'll see you there.
Okay. Point 6, Canada must beat Cuba tonight if the national men's soccer team hopes to advance to the CONCACAF Gold Cup quarterfinals. Canada plays winless Cuba at Shell Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas tonight. Canada will be without star goalie Milan Borjan, who has returned to Europe with an undisclosed injury. For those awaiting NHL Free Agency talk, it's next with Hustler Paterson of Winnipeg Sports Talk. We'll be right back. We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Back live at Ace Casino Airport. Hey, folks, just a word from our sponsor. Are you too busy with summer plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, skip the trip to the grocery store and skip the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up, too, while still getting the flavor and nutrition quality you need. Call to action? Head to factormeals.com/Peterson50 right now and use promo code Peterson50 to get 50% off your first box. That's factormeals.com/Peterson50. Use that promo code, 50% off. This is like frozen TV dinners, but actually healthy and fresh. With Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. All right. Let's go to Winnipeg now. Hustler Paterson. Connor Hellebuck still a Jet. Huss, what time is it? What's the deal? Is the Hellebuck watch on or what's going on?
You know what watch is on right now, Rod? The lightning delay at the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest right now. The GOAT Joey Chestnut is having to wait, and he's hungry. This is not just your regular rain delay. Can you imagine that? But yeah, that's been keeping me
saving up for days.
Right now.
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuck. Yeah, Connor Hellebuck's still a Winnipeg Jet, and so is Mark Scheifele. I think overall last week was a real productive week for the Winnipeg Jets. I think what we learned a lot is about what the market is right now. And two very different markets. One is a market for goaltending. And I got to tell you, if I'm Ray Petkow, I wasn't too fired up when I saw Ilya Sorokin ink an 8-year extension at $8.25 million. I believe he's 4 years younger than Connor Hellebuck. He was a finalist as well for the Vezina this year and actually finished ahead of Helly in the voting. That's not the comparable I think that his camp wanted if they're looking to get in excess of $9 million. And, you know, from talking to a lot of people in Nashville last week at the draft, the concern, listen, I don't have as much concern that the fact that he's going to be 31 years old when he comes in. The guy's a workhorse, never gets hurt. Listen, I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt, and he's played at a high enough level that teams would be willing to take that chance. But when you add in the contractual commitment that teams are going to need to make to Connor Hellebuck, it is a very tough decision, and there wasn't much of a market that emerged for him.
Yet. Right? Like, what are you reading into, and the Jets fans, that Wheeler's been bought out? Has he been designated as the problem, or is there more?
Well, I think there's more. I mean, to me, the thing that I think that they have to do, and this is not going to come as a surprise to you, I've said it before on this program, I've said it a million times on Winnipeg Sports Talk, I don't think they really move on from the previous culture until Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele are moved on. And listen, that's a tough decision. I mean, Scheifele's got one more year coming off a 42-goal season. And there really is a scarcity right now of center talent, as we saw in free agency. You know, I've heard rumblings that the Boston Bruins, considering their situation, might make a run at Mark Scheifele, and I think that would be good for the Winnipeg Jets. Listen, Mark Scheifele is a great player, but I think the time has come for him to move on. I don't think he's the leader that this team needs. And I think the likes of Josh Morrissey and Adam Lowry need to be those alphas in the room, if you will, going forward. And I've also got concerned about Mark this year. I mean, if he was playing on a one-year deal, Rod, if we thought that he was selfish and not thinking about the team in the past, what's he going to be like in a year where his entire next contract is depending on how he's playing right now, points and whatnot. And I'll tell you what, I think if you pump some true serum into Rick Bowness, I think he would say the same thing. For the team, I think if you were going to have one of those guys come back next year and play into the season, I think it would be far better for the Winnipeg Jets if that guy was Connor Hellebuck as opposed to Mark Scheifele. Although trading a Scheifele leaves a massive hole at the center ice position, which I don't underestimate as well. But to me, this is about building a team, changing this culture going forward. And I think putting it all on Blake Wheeler is not fair, to be honest with you. And he certainly had some help.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, you talk about the hole at the center position. I've been in this game a real long time, Huss, and if you had 20 all-star players, but they were all cancers, you're not winning anything. I'm not saying they necessarily are that, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm not done on the Hellebuck thing as a goalie guy here. With the drafting of Milic and the signing of a few others, including Laurent Brossoit, it just tells me that Hellebuck's on his way out of town. So whatever the market is, it's going to happen by the end of the week, is it not?
Oh, I doubt it. I would bet no. I mean,
no.
Listen, would they like to have? Well, I mean, I just don't think that there is an offer that makes Kevin Cheveldayoff really consider it right now. I mean, they don't want to get rid of Connor Hellebuck. They're, I think, sort of being forced into it by the fact that they reportedly have said that he's looking to move on and not signing an extension with the Winnipeg Jets. Although I listened to Elliot Friedman this morning, and he said after the week that the team had, they want to let this breathe a little bit and maybe re-engage both of those. As I said, I think it would be a huge mistake to extend Mark Scheifele. Connor Hellebuck, I'm sort of on the other side. I mean, he's the best player. He's their best player. He's been the backbone of this franchise. To me, if there's an opportunity to keep your best player around long term, I would do it. I think that they may re-engage on that. Whether there's any interest or anything's changed, I'm not sure. I think there is an argument to be made, though. The best offer, money-wise, for Connor Hellebuck might, in fact, be here with the Winnipeg Jets. And it'll be a very interesting situation to see. I mean, John Gibson's on the market as well, Rod. You saw Christian Jerry hang tight and sign that 5-year extension in Pittsburgh. Carolina brought both their goalies back. The one spot that we've heard that could be a nice fit that was interested is in New Jersey. But the fact that we went through all of draft week, the extensions that they gave to players and signings already, I'm not sure they're in a position to do that. So for folks that are Connor Hellebuck fans, I think the likelihood that he could start the season with the Jets is increased. How it comes to an extension, I mean, it would need to be a significant reversal of fortunes, I guess, for the Jets if all of a sudden they were open to sticking around.
Well, maybe Hellebuck, maybe it's not all about the money, but I don't know the guy. Every player is different, though, and I think, people really get mesmerized by the money. Look at Gaudreau taking less money and going to a worse team just to get out of Calgary. You know what I mean? It's not always about that. Who do you think is winning free agency, and does it matter this time of year?
Well, I'll tell you what, and as much as it pains me to say this, I think the Toronto Maple Leafs and Brad Treliving made out here's the thing. They get Max Domi on a $3 million deal or so, and Tyler Bertuzzi at $5.5 million. The thing why I like this so much for them, Rod, is that they were 1-year deals. I mean, there's no bad 1-year deal in the National Hockey League. If things don't work out, you can trade the guy, you can move on. It doesn't hamstring you in the cap moving forward. And I think for both of those players, especially Bertuzzi, who did have some multi-year deals available, but to teams that maybe he didn't want to play for, he gets to go in, play on a very good Toronto team. And next year, the cap's going up significantly, and he'll be back in that free agent market. So I think Brad Treliving and the Toronto Maple Leafs did a very good job of taking advantage and flex their muscles a little bit, and they still got to get under the cap. But I thought those two additions were great because they're low risk, and I think both of those teams, considering what was on the market, will help them in a big way. And the other one's the Carolina Hurricanes. And we were often wondering, hey, maybe does Hellebuck end up there? Well, they got both their goalies back, Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta. But they got Dmitry Orlov, who arguably was the best player on the free agent board. he signed a big money deal, $7.75 million a year. But again, it's just 2 years. So, I mean, the thing that kills you, Rod, on these in these July 1 deals, was like Milan Lucic and Andrew Ladd and James Neal. I mean, they were signing 5, 6, 7-year deals. And often those deals look bad in year 2. That wasn't the case this year. The market's changed a little bit because of the cap only going up $1 million. But I thought those signings in particular of Toronto and Carolina were among the best.
Okay, but just celebrities in the crowd watching. Craig Campbell from the Hockey Hall of Fame says 8x8 for a goalie's too much. Hellebuck as example, and I favor goalies. Always. Arlen Bruce is watching, and he says, Kansas City Chiefs all day. Good on you, hustler.
Yes.
There are more. Nelson says the Leafs and Pens are the front runners. We could talk about this all day. Huss, we'll let you go. Get ready for your show at 1 p.m. Central, right, buddy? Have a great week.
You got it right. Yeah, check us out. We'll talk lots more about the Jets signings in particular, where the team is right now. But yeah, Winnipeg Sports Talk on YouTube. Join us right after Hot Rod's finished the RP show. Thanks for having me, buddy. Oh, and hey, congratulations on your. I was just going to say congratulations on that upcoming gig. Looking forward to seeing how you guys do down there. It sounds real fun.
Can't wait. It's going to be awesome, buddy. Always up for new experiences. Thanks, Huss. I appreciate the support. I really do. We'll be right back with a sports update and audience takeover. We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Cleat Calgary Airport on Game Plus, WQEE, podcast and YouTube Live.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Business owners and marketers, Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
It's a brief one. Sports update here on Audience Takeover. I appreciate the nice comments like James in Borden, Manitoba writes in. He says, Rod and Hustler are great together. Oh, man. We're great friends. It would have been awesome to work on the same station together one day, but everything happens for a reason. I'd love to tell you how things could have unfolded after I left the Rough Riders. Maybe next hour if we have time, but sometimes I think people don't care. The Progressive Insurance text line is open, 902-518-3033. Wilf is watching on Game Plus television in Steinbach, Manitoba. He says, hi, Rod. Bomber fans have always been hard to take. He says, I agree with Doug Brown. Vernon Adams is back to normal. From Buffalo Bill writes in from North Dakota, thanks for the shout-out. I miss Ace Casino and Calgary. I'm cleaning the garage today. Thank you for the update. And there's some very interesting outfits on the staff, eh, Kev? Here this morning. You're very attractive. I'll say it for them. They miss you too, Buffalo Bill. They told me. Sports update, Nathan Keogh's season high 28 points helped the Montreal Alliance get a 99-85 victory over the Winnipeg Sea Bears in Canadian Elite Basketball League play Monday, handing the team their second consecutive loss for just the first time this season. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Stingers knocked off the Vancouver Bandits 92-78 in the second half of a home-and-home Canada Day long weekend series at the Expo Center in Edmonton. After losing by 10 points to the Bandits in Vancouver on Saturday, the Stingers responded with an efficient shooting performance inside the arc and a team-high 19 points from Aher Aguak. And what's today? Tuesday? Wednesday night, the Saskatchewan Rattlers are home to the Ottawa Blackjacks. So if you're so inclined, go. There's just so much fun stuff to do. Tonight, I'm going to be going to night one of Bull Bustin'. I love saying it this way. Cody Snyder's Bull Bustin'. Tonight, night one over at Grey Eagle. Can't wait. This sports update brought to you by the Steadies. Their island rock genre of music was named Concert of the Year by Planet S Magazine. The new tour kicked off June 23rd. Visit thesteadies.ca for more info and stream The Steadies today on Apple Music and Spotify. And also by Landmark Cinemas in theaters July 21st, the movie Barbie. Barbie lives in Barbie Land, and then a story happens. Starring Ryan Gosling, Kate McKinnon, Will Ferrell, and Margot Robbie. Next hour, Alan May from Washington Capitals television broadcasts, and Kevin the Medium. He is all stirred up. You folks, you people, got to him by trolling him. I love it. So he'll have his rebuttal about the BC Lions getting spanked. So much coming up after this break. This quick one on Game Plus Television, the Key Radio podcast, and YouTube Live. We'll be right back.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
The prizes are a draw, but the cause, that's the clincher.
This is why they can count on me.
Inbound receiving hospital.
Prizes and a cause I can't say no to.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win more than $3.6 million in prizes, including cash, homes, vehicles, and vacations. Buy your tickets today at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Ad marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Some leather-lunged New Yorker. He's cheering for the Panthers, but he's behind me, and he was making all these jokes. He's like, yeah, the Panthers are losing by a hair. I heard these Florida fans are rabid, but this is ridiculous. Anyways, and then security came down. Right from everybody, because the rabbit's not hurting anybody. I was kind of hoping the rabbit would crap all over the kids.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Hour 2 of your favorite daytime sports talk show, The RP Show. Coming at you live for one more day from Ace Casino Airport in Calgary and Hotel Clay Calgary Airport. I'll tell you the big news in a second. I'll recap the big news. A lot of people already know it. We're awaiting the arrival of Alan May, NHL alum, SJ and Dub alum, Alan May. He's at Weimer Lake in Minnesota. And he's having connection issues, producer Clark tells me. Because Tim Hunter was supposed to be with us here in Hour 2, the Stanley Cup champ, Calgary kid. Woke up sick today. He didn't want to affect the casino. And with Calgary Stampede beginning this week, he's like, I'm just going to take a knee here. So we'll get Tim Hunter next time we're around. But I want to talk NHL when we do have Alan May on. And then a lot of CFL later. I'm just lining up the show for you people. Kevin the Medium, the biggest BC Lions fan I know, quite frankly, is here at Ace Casino. He's also our sales coordinator, and he's got some things he wants to get off his chest about the Lions getting their asses handed to them in the Braley Bowl last night. And Vernon Adams Jr. throwing 6 interceptions, one off a CFL record. Doug Brown over in Winnipeg saying he is what we thought he was. Whew, harsh from a Hall of Famer. But our poll question today is for our friends at Key Yorkton Kia and the Key Auto Group. The all-new Sportage reimagines innovation in motion and urban SUV design with all the comforts for your next adventure. Order yours today at KeyYorktonKia.com or by calling 306-783-2772. The 2023 Kia Sportage, movement that inspires. So the poll question is, who's winning NHL free agency right now? And running away with it is the Toronto Maple Leafs. The other options are the Nashville Predators and the Carolina Hurricanes or other. And now, at long last, joining us from Weimer Lake, Minnesota, our good friend Alan May, TV star from the Washington Capitals television broadcast. Happy summer, Alan. It looks like you were having a blast there with our buddy Jeff Pearson. Give me an update on that, sir.
I have the Pearson boys here, and we've been here. We had a memorial. We've had some concerts. It's been outstanding. Today's the first rainy day we've had, but it's going to clear up in about an hour, and we're going to get back to doing what we do best.
Okay, I did not know that Brad Pearson was there as well. So happy Independence Day, gentlemen. And I know that you're having a blast. Alan, how would you answer this question as to who's winning NHL free agency here 4 days into it?
Well, you know, I would say I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they've added better skaters, guys that can move the puck, that they can play with a better pace. I thought they had too many guys that were slow last season. I didn't like their defense. I like their defense with I'm not against Luke Shen. I just didn't like him playing as the number one right D-man. I thought he should be in the third hole and be your number 6-7 guy. Justin Holl, haven't been a big fan of, but I think you add Klingberg to the mix. And what he can do in the power play, right shot defenseman, you never know if he's going to pass or shoot. He can get the puck up the ice. I think they needed that. They needed to improve the skating on the back end. And there's a few tweaks that they can make over the course of the season. But I thought when they brought those players in late in the year, they were slow. They had identities, but they were slow. And as we saw in these playoffs, you had to be fast and you had to be physical. Well, if you can't get there, you can't be physical. And I didn't think the Leafs could get there in the playoffs. So I think the Leafs have done a very good job of making a better team. I'm a big fan of Brad Treliving and the things that he thinks are important in building teams. And I'd expect he's probably going to go to the Calgary Flames and probably try to find someone he can grab off the blue line there to really upgrade the Toronto Maple Leafs back end.
So I got a lot to get to with Alan May. I see our audience has chimed in because I threatened to tell some stories near the end of hour one, Alan. I said, I don't think anybody cares. They all said, no, we want to hear those stories. So when Alan and I are done, we will. But I got to pick Alan's brain because, to be honest, obviously I respect you so much, and I think you're just the best guy. And I want to know your take on this adage. Is the team that signs the biggest free agent the team that wins free agency? And if so, could Carolina be given consideration over Dmitry Orlov? You watched Orlov for so long in Washington. Was he at the top of your free agent board?
Well, I would think for defensemen, he wanted an 8-year contract in Washington and a big one, and we knew he wasn't going to get it. There's a lot of hard miles on that guy. He's a great defensive defenseman, something I never thought he'd become because when he first was in the league and paired with Mike Green, they'd be on the offensive zone for a minute or two, rolling around, getting shots, shooting from everywhere, zinging the puck around. But then they'd be 2 minutes inside the defensive zone. The other team would be doing it, but they wouldn't have two defensemen like that. So I look at Dmitry. That was a great signing by the Carolina Hurricanes, but I don't think that's how you win free agency. I think when you look at your slots, and Team Canada, over the course of time, they put a program together years and years ago, the Hockey Excellence Program, of how you slot all your first liners, your second liners, everyone, third and fourth, and what the key ingredients have to be on your team. And it goes through all 6-year defensemen and, hopefully your goaltending. But I think right now I'm looking at the Dallas Stars. They made some minor tweaks. I look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. They made some key tweaks because the guys they brought in are gritty. They skate well. They have a nose for the net. They can create offense. But when I saw Max Domi in the playoffs this year, he was all in, fully involved every game. Bertuzzi, first kick at the can, I believe, in the playoffs, had 10 points in 7 games. He was all in. He fit in very well with the Bruins. But I think these are huge upgrades for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm just looking at who got the guys in the best slots. And I think right now the Toronto Maple Leafs are winning that. There's some other teams out there. They're still going to have to make trades to assemble their rosters. But I look at the New York Rangers as an example. On the trade deadline and near the trade deadline this last spring, they bring in Patrick Kane and Tarasenko and all these other players. Well, they had too many guys that were the same type of player that needed power play time. They all played the exact same position on the power play. so it didn't work. They had too many guys they were trying to keep happy. And then the guys that really got them to the top of the standings and where they were on the Rangers, all of a sudden they're taking a backseat to these new guys. So I think when you slot players in, what they've done in Toronto, it's a very intelligent signing period for Brad Treliving. I thought the Leafs were kind of a disaster last year in free agency. I thought they were a disaster at the trade deadline. And right now, I can't believe I'm saying so many positive things about the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they've done a very good job.
I know. Well, I also know you're not the biggest fan of Kyle Dubas, and Dubas ain't there anymore, so you're allowed to do that, Al. We got a lot of questions that have come in from our viewers for you. John in Winnipeg, John Ohm says, Alan, how long is Alex Ovechkin going to play? Into his 50s? What do you think, Al?
I think he's going to play out this contract. There's a lot of wear and tear in that body. I don't think there's been any offensive player that's ever played so long, that's played so physical. Granted, he's not as physical as he was, but I'm not sure the body can take much. We know that they want him to get one more kick at winning the Stanley Cup. He certainly wants to become the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League. And, so I think there's 3 years left on his contract. I expect him to play out those 3 years if the body will let him. But we saw coming down the pike last year, it was bothered by some injuries. They were nagging. So he really needed not to make the playoffs. They needed to have an offseason where all those older, awesome Washington Capitals could, recover, recuperate, rehabilitate, whatever they needed to do to get back at it. But I expect Ovi to be flying with the new coach, a different system, different looks on the power play. I'm expecting another monster season, which shouldn't be happening. I didn't think he'd be able to just keep pumping away like he's been doing, but, he's got 90-some goals the last 2 seasons that he's been a little banged up doing so.
I got to ask you about your Caps. Mitch Love has joined the Capitals as an assistant coach. You were saying on this show you felt the Flames should hire him as their head coach. He's gone to Washington as an assistant. What do you know about that from the AHL's Wranglers, 2-time coach of the year in the Apple?
You know what I like about Mitch Love signing there, I thought for sure he'd probably be considered for the Flames. And I was very surprised, going in a different direction, a different voice. The MO on him is that he's a great communicator, a high-energy guy that really understands the game. And I know he was offered in Toronto, but I think maybe cutting the cord and going with a new system and a new group of people that, you're always going to be able to go back to Treliving if he's looking for you in the future, maybe to make him the head coach down the line. But I think a young progressive staff that the Capitals have, they need to teach their new younger defensemen they're trying to get in the lineup. I think you come with great credentials. He hasn't been a coach all that long, pro hockey just 2 years, but I think it's important that he gets on the bench. He learns how to communicate with the big guys who are making the big bucks. He's got a John Carlson who's an $8 million plus guy, and guys that have been around the block, have won Stanley Cups. He's going to learn, they're going to learn, but he's going to inject new life, enthusiasm, and some new age ideas like Spencer Carberry is as well. So I'm happy that the Caps went in a direction. I thought the defense coach had to be critically important. I didn't like the look of the D the last few seasons and a lot of the things they were doing. There was a couple things with Lavi's system that I did not like. I thought for an aging team, it made a slow team slower, and I thought they needed to be more perpetual motion. I think they will be a more puck-hungry team, a more five-man unit team that's not just sitting backwards and standing around when they don't have the puck. So I'm expecting a lot of great things out of these new young coaches in Washington.
Way out of left field with this one, but John in Edmonton, your hometown, Alan, wants to know if you think Atlanta could get an NHL team again. And we are on the air in Atlanta, WQEE radio right now, so I'm sure a lot of people would love to know your thoughts on that.
Well, I really don't want the league to expand past 32 teams, but Atlanta, it was ownership problems there. It wasn't, they weren't doing anything to make the Thrashers a better franchise. And there was infighting. They only cared about the basketball team. And it sounds like they're hot and heavy. So when I hear all the rumors and the people that I've been speaking with about this, it sounds like they're back on the radar, as is Houston, Salt Lake City. All those are legitimate. The people I've talked to, they're pretty high up in the league. They believe in it, but I just don't know if they're going to go. I know everyone wants, as an owner, these new franchises may go for $1 billion because the league's kind of healthy right now. Everyone's having to restructure television deals in the regional markets in the U.S. Canada's got its own issues. But I expect Salt Lake, I played a season there, and I absolutely loved it. It's a great hockey town. They've had When they were in the IHL, they sold out almost every game for years. They were Calgary's farm team. They were the Islanders' farm team. I won a championship there. We had about 25,000 people in a building. They were sitting in the aisles for our championship game years and years ago against Orlando. So, those are teams. I think Atlanta's got another chance, but I wouldn't be surprised with the guy that wants to own the team in Salt Lake City. Deep pockets, a ton of money, a very progressive guy. He's got great ideas on how to promote his team regionally on television. So there's a lot of things I like about Salt Lake. Houston, I think, is a great hockey market, but they want big league hockey. And if they can go in there with the same ownership group that owns the arena and owns the Rockets, I think they got a healthy chance to go there. So it's Atlanta would probably be on the outside looking in when you're looking at Houston and Salt Lake City, in my opinion.
Yeah, but didn't that Salt Lake City one just come out of nowhere? I'd never really even heard that before, and now they're like a front runner.
Yeah, well, it's because of the owner. And the biggest thing there, they just put a ton of money into their arena downtown. But that was one of those arenas. The old owner of the Utah Jazz built a basketball arena where the stands, so when we played games in there, there was about 4,000 or 5,000 stands that couldn't be used. They were just flat. It was like the old Phoenix Arena downtown. It wasn't made for hockey. It was made with these guys who own the teams. They didn't want competition. They wanted to build those arenas for themselves to keep the National Hockey League out of there. It kind of worked. It's ruined, the great things that the Coyotes had when they first got there. They had a great fan base downtown, and then they moved so far away. But I don't think any team that's ever moved away from their fan base has really hurt it. Florida's done it. Ottawa's done it. Tampa did it for a while. Then they figured out to get right smack dab downtown. And what a great event they hold at all times, and it's easily accessible to everyone. I played downtown Miami. I love the new arena, but it's a suburb of Fort Lauderdale, and all those original fans, they've got a lot. You know how bad the traffic is there. I don't have to tell it, you especially, but you have to stay where your fan base is. So Salt Lake City's an easy town to get around, but they would need a brand new arena that's made for hockey and basketball.
You're a TV guy. You get this. We have 2 minutes. What do you expect out of Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks this season?
Well, I'm really worried about his cast of characters he's around, because when I look at how tough it was for a lot of those first overall picks in Edmonton because they didn't have the roster. I look at Sidney Crosby. He went to Pittsburgh. His roster was pretty damn good. Same thing, Patrick Kane, when he got, it was 3 years until a cup. Sidney was 3 years until a cup. They had way better rosters right now. The aging guys that they've signed, I'm kind of baffled at the Corey Perry for $4 million. Foligno certainly for $4 million. They're older, slower. It's going to be easier to focus on Connor Bedard. I know he's an outstanding talent, but he's going against real defensemen that can really skate, that have been, they're the best of the best in the National Hockey League. Even the guys you don't like are really good. So it's not going against guys that are, one bad game away playing in the SJHL or the AJHL when you're Regina, and now you're going against the big guys. Like if he goes against Vegas, they've got a really big team, really big defensemen that can all skate, that can shut him down. So I hope for Connor Bedard, they wheel and deal and get him some guys that he can play with, so he's not too easy to focus on, because guys are going to take a great deal of pride in trying to shut him down. And when you have more players, it's easier to get away from coverage and do things. So I'm hoping they upgrade that roster so we're not sitting there, what's wrong with Connor? He needs a cast of characters in the NHL, because you look, as great as McDavid is in Edmonton, he didn't have a cast around him, and it was easier to focus. They weren't having success. They weren't getting to the playoffs. You start to build and develop that roster, it makes it harder to focus on just one player. So I'm hoping Connor gets help as we go down the way, because last year when the Capitals were in there and Ovi scored the hat trick for his 800, I'm surprised he didn't have 10 goals, and I'm surprised the team didn't score 20 that night, because it was a very poor team on the ice. They were all NHL players, but they just shouldn't have been on the same team at the same time in the same game. So he definitely has to have an upgraded roster so he can really dazzle us. And hopefully we have an exciting Rookie of the Year race this year. It's not just one guy. I'm hoping Fantilli puts pressure on him. I'm hoping he puts pressure on Fantilli. But I'm excited to see him in an NHL uniform. I'm excited to see him shoot the puck all the time. And I'm hoping that he has a long, incredible, awesome career.
A fantastic update. Thanks for joining us last minute, Al. I get back to doing all the fun things I'm watching you guys do, and enjoy the rest of summer.
All right, take care. Talk to you soon.
Washington Capitals TV analyst Alan May. I feel like I can say it all CFL the rest of the way. Kevin the Medium will join us next live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com. In the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Lake Center, you can mark us airborne off the scene. ETA 2 minutes.
The prizes are a draw, but the cause, that's the clincher.
This is why they can count on me.
Inbound receiving hospital.
Prizes and a cause I can't say no to.
Stars Lottery, the lottery on a mission. Every ticket is your chance to win more than $3.6 million in prizes, including cash, homes, vehicles, and vacations. Buy your tickets today at starslottery.ca or 1-844-STARS-SK.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Looking to buy a pre-owned vehicle? With the largest selection of quality pre-owned vehicles in the Parkland, you're sure to find it at Key Auto Group. We'll treat you right every time, and it's all just a click away at keyautogroup.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
And we are back live at Ace Casino Airport, as you can see. Folks, Ace Casino's making significant contributions to the surrounding communities in numerous ways. In 2022 alone, our daily tournaments enabled us to donate an impressive sum of over $250,000 to our in-house charities. Ace Poker is revolutionizing the poker landscape with its philanthropic endeavors. And that includes bringing on people like Kevin the Medium, a BC Lions fan, who's been waiting like an hour since you were triggered somewhat. How you doing, Kev?
I am doing awesome.
Okay. 1 sec, a couple of minutes before we bring you on. Breaking news with what you would like to talk about. Breaking news from Jeff the Stamps fan. He says the 2023 Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest men's division is officially canceled for 2023. The mustard belt will be vacant for the next year.
Wow.
Apparently it's a weather-related issue. How do they not plan if you can't move it inside? But whatever, I don't know any more about it. Thank you, Jeff, for the breaking news. And for the people near the end of hour one, you know some of this, you don't know all of us. The audience said, we like your stories, Rod. And people have related this show to Howard Stern of sports.
Yes.
And I'm cool with that. I love hearing his stories. So when I got fired as voice of the Rough Riders in January of 2019, I had a lot of offers afterwards. Like the one writer, audience here, James in Manitoba, says, Rod and Hustler make a great team. And I always thought it would be fun to be on a team of a morning show or a drive in a major sports market. You know what I mean? I'd never had that opportunity before. And within a week of me getting smoked, I got, or like after, I had CJME. You've heard of them, I think, the Green Zone, the sworn rival of where I was.
Oh, okay.
That you hadn't heard of them?
No.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm not from Regina.
That's fine. They said, when can you start? And I said, I have a year-long non-compete, so I can't even talk to you for a year. So check back with me in a year. And then here in Calgary, Fan 960, Sportsnet 960 said, come on out to Calgary. We got a spot for you, 10 a.m. to noon. We'll call it the Rod Pedersen Show, and let's go. And I'm like, yeah. So this was within weeks of me getting let go. And we were working out the details, and I'll never forget the guy that was doing the interviewing, the hiring, if you will. And you do know this. He goes, listen, just so you know, you're not coming out to Calgary to start over. You're coming out here in the hole, like in the negative, because there's a lot of people that friggin' hate you out here. I said, you know what? We're done. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm not going somewhere where I'm hated. I deserve better than that. I've been in this business 30 years. No. And that was that. So I had a lot of money, still do. Wasn't in a rush. And then Darren came to me and Paul and said, would you consider hosting this show? And I'm like, yeah, give me a while to think about it. And I didn't consciously make them sweat, but I'm like, I could do a lot of things.
You could have.
You know? And we started this show June 3rd, 2019, so we just passed 4 years. We're in year 5. But what's interesting is we've now gone back to CJME. We've gone back to Fan 960. We have a show now, carry the show, and we're good. No, we want you to come work for us, or we're not carrying your show. And I'm like, well, I'm not coming to work for you.
Which amazes me, because they'll throw on U.S. shows instead of a great, not just a good, but a great Canadian sports talk show. Makes no sense.
But again, I swore I would never, ever, ever go back to what I was doing. That last job finished me. It finished me.
Well, and
finished me.
You wouldn't be happy if you were stuck just talking about the Flames or just talking about the Stampeders or you could throw in any one team there. It wouldn't be fun for you.
I'm sorry, but my stomach just turned.
Exactly.
At the thought. It physically turned at the thought of being chained to one team. And it's funny because coming out of Canada, long weekend. I know you had a great weekend. I know I had a great weekend. I hope our audience had a great weekend. And I'm seeing the people that are covering these teams now at the stadium, in the stands, watching the team that doesn't really want you there anyways. And it's
you're a nuisance.
You're a nuisance. Hey, days off are actually a good thing, man. You should try it. What? A life?
Gosh forbid.
Here we are. So, there's the stories. There were opportunities to do these things, and I see it now. I said to Darren, they wanted me before, but they don't want me now. Why don't they want to carry the show? And Darren's like, they want to control you. Nope. You don't put a saddle on a Mustang. You don't.
Did you just refer to yourself as a Mustang?
I am.
Okay.
That's not new, by the way. Can you get up to speed here?
I'm sorry.
Chuck Daly, the former
coach. Coffee.
The former coach of the Detroit Pistons said that about Dennis Rodman. You don't put a saddle on a Mustang, you don't even try.
You don't.
So don't try to control me, and we'll all be better off. You know that. You don't try.
I don't even try.
So, What are you laughing at? Your mind went somewhere.
It did. And it was like, no, don't go there.
You go ahead.
No.
Okay.
We're on TV.
I'm
We're
glad
not
that you're
allowed to-
smiling, despite the fact that your team got their asses whipped by the Toronto Argonauts in the Brayley Bowl Monday.
You know, I've heard you say that a couple times now. We didn't get whipped. I mean, take away the last TD. It was a kind of a Hail Mary throw, apparently. I didn't watch
the last pick.
The last pick.
Yeah.
And the last pick,
six.
which was a touchdown.
Yeah.
We still had over 418 yards in total offense. I mean, it wasn't like we didn't score a touchdown like other teams that we beat. Did they beat us? Yeah, Toronto deserves full credit for what they accomplished. 6 interceptions. I think Kelly's probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks
Chad Kelly.
in the CFL. The guy is phenomenal. The way he can read a defense and pick them apart. He didn't throw 50-yard touchdown passes. He was doing the 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, and picked us apart.
Oh, I apologize because I've heard so many opinions from people since that game ended. So you are saying Vernon Adams was the lone reason they lost, or you're not saying Vernon Adams is the sole reason they lost?
And we talked about this morning as we were setting up. Very rarely will I say it's one person's fault that we lost that game. But as a QB, you're throwing 6 interceptions, 4 of those blatant. Like there was not an orange shirt, or sorry, a smoke shirt around them. You gotta take.
Are you concerned?
No, not at all. VA will bounce back next game. We play Montreal, and I took BC against Montreal. So
okay. I'm sorry.
We're bouncing back.
Great comments are coming in here.
Oh, I can imagine.
There's a man after my heart right there. Under Armour from head to toe. Same as me. I love that stuff. You know that.
I know that.
I'm going down there today. Moose is going today. I'm going tomorrow to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm hoping USA Football's clothing deals with Under Armour. I don't know. I asked them in our meeting last week, what's your predominant colors? They're like navy base, obviously red and white trim. Okay. Got to be color coordinated to these football things, man. You know that. Hockey people generally don't care. But anyways, Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, says 6 turnovers is a whipping, regardless if you can find Don through the clouds. You got your ass kicked, Kevin, admit it.
We did. But it's not like we were destroyed like Winnipeg was when BC played Winnipeg. They were destroyed.
Yeah.
They were humiliated.
David in Winnipeg, David Ice writes in, he says, I'm coming to BC October 6th for my revenge. Go Bombers! We've got some great stuff here. Some really good stuff. Jeff the Stamps fan, who's been with us all day, and I appreciate him. He goes, even a great medium like Kevin can have his clairvoyance clouded with his own biases. There's a real debate going on, and I don't know if you've seen it with regards to what you're able to do.
It's funny, isn't it?
Well, I don't even know what it is.
Well, it's really funny because you started off when we first met, and I think the first time I commented on your show, long before we became friends, and you said Kevin the Medium, and you kind of gave me that moniker.
That's right.
And I ran with it because I thought, hey, that sounds really cool. Mediumship has nothing to do with sports. I can't predict sports. If I could, I'd be really rich.
Right. So you just have fun with that.
Yes.
But it's other stuff. He speaks to dead people, but it's a sports show. I'm going to stop. Here's one. Arlen Bruce III.
My buddy AB.
Says, when I was playing, Ken Austin would have pulled the quarterback for throwing 3 interceptions. 6 picks, that's fundamentally inaccurate as a quarterback. The only way to bounce back is to win or make the playoffs. And what does BC have this week?
BC has Montreal.
In a rematch of the 2006 Grey Cup.
That is correct. I agree with AB3. I was shocked that they didn't pull him. It's not like you don't have a good backup.
I was too. Did Rick Campbell address that after the game? Any BC fans out there?
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't either.
We jumped right into our podcast right after the game, so I really didn't watch. I think we stopped watching at the 3-minute warning. So,
one thing, AB brings up Ken Austin, and I was having a chat recently with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Hall of Fame quarterback. And don't try to guess who it is, because I won't tell you who it is.
Oh, okay.
But
he was talking about Cody Fajardo, who... You watched that game Saturday night?
I did.
17-3, Winnipeg won at Montreal. Rain-soaked game at McGill. TSN turning point was third quarter, Cody's goal line interception with his team only down 10-0 at the time. No points on the board. They lose. But anyways, this Hall of Fame quarterback said to me, as we're talking right now, he goes, because I like Fajardo a lot, but he shouldn't do interviews. They should not put a mic in his face. So hang on. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, every time he speaks, he puts his foot in his mouth. And he goes, and that's what finished him in Saskatchewan, was him calling out his receivers. And I said, well, Kent did that when he played.
Bo did that.
Right. But you know what that quarterback said to me? Doesn't make it right.
It doesn't. And I
That's
used to,
exactly what he said.
I used to lose it on when I heard Bo blaming his receivers when it was obvious Bo overthrew him.
And I said to that quarterback, and there are a lot of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, so you'll never guess who it was. I said, I give a lot of guys a lot of slack that are good guys and are honest. And he goes, so do I. That Cody's a great guy.
Yes.
Great player. Ken Austin's a great guy and a great player. But he just says that's where it all started to unravel. Don't let him do interviews and he'll be fine. And I'd like to know if you, because I've never asked Cody about it, if you could take that back if he would.
Or how about we give these guys more media training? And
that'll never happen, so.
Teach them more how to, as they're growing in the game, teach them how to talk.
Yeah, no, they don't do that.
They should, though. Do you not agree?
This is what they need. HIMS helps guys like you with all your health and wellness needs. Having issues in the bedroom? You're not alone. But HIMS has you covered. HIMS has lots of personalized options to treat ED like Viagra, Cialis, and Hard Mints, wintergreen chewable tablets compounded with doctor-trusted ingredients. New, discreet, and only available through HIMS at 4hims.com/care. You can access licensed medical providers and trusted treatments for ED 100% online. If prescribed, HIMS will ship to you for free in discreet packaging. It's that simple. 4hims.com/care. More with Kevin the Medium when we come back to Ace Casino Airport right after this timeout on the Game Plus television network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
The RP Show continues live from Ace Airport Casino. And just ahead of more with Kevin the Medium, a sports update on this Tuesday. The Toronto Blue Jays look to end a 3-game losing skid tonight as they open a 3-game series with the White Sox in Chicago. It's Chris Bassett starting for the Jays against Chicago's Lucas Giolito. Jays 4th in the American League East, 11 games back of the division-leading Tampa Bay Rays, 2 games out of a wild card spot. Atlanta Braves all-star outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. has made history by becoming the first player in MLB history to reach 20 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and 50 RBIs before the All-Star break. The 25-year-old is also just the third player to hit 20 homers and steal 40 bases in the first 84 games, joining Ricky Henderson and Eric Davis. I hope he keeps it up and is named MVP. And the Argos are the CFL's lone unbeaten club following Monday night's 45-24 win over the visiting BC Lions. Toronto defensive back Robertson Daniel hauled in 3 picks and ran 1 back for a touchdown. This sports update is for the Steadies. Their island rock genre of music was named Concert of the Year by Planet S magazine. Their new tour kicks off now. Look them up and catch the Steadies when they come to your area. Visit thesteadies.ca for more info and stream the Steadies today on Apple Music and Spotify. And brought to you by Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 in theaters July 12th at Landmark Cinemas, starring Tom Cruise. The Progressive Insurance text line's open, 902-518-3033. Kevin the Medium is with us. I'm quite thrilled that I gave you that nickname. As many of my friends have said, you're the king of all the nicknames and you don't have one. And I said, I'm okay with that. John McPhee writes in on the Progressive Insurance text line, 902-518-3033. John in Rosetown, he says, Fajardo tried to play the victim a lot in Saskatchewan. Sprinkles when he was winning, hurt feelings when he wasn't.
Did he try to play the victim, or was he just being himself and speaking his truth? It drives me nuts when you speak your truth and people are like, oh, you're playing the victim. No, he wasn't. He was speaking his truth.
It's a tough one. Yeah. I don't know the answer to that.
Me neither.
Only because the world has changed. People's feelings get hurt really easily. So I don't know the answer to all that. I don't know. So John, it hurts me to hear him say that because he's clearly a Rider fan. As am I, grew up that way, but Cody Fajardo's my guy, and it just didn't work out. I mean, that's the one thing. That you haven't spent a lot of time in Saskatchewan, but it's an intense place. Similar to Calgary's intense if you're a Flame. Yes. Vancouver, I would think, is intense if you're a Canuck.
For sure.
And if it doesn't end well, I don't know how you could stay there for the rest of your life. I swear to God.
We talked about Paul McCallum, one of my favorite kickers next to Louis, and I don't know how somebody could live the way he had to live. I was surprised he lasted a year after his incident. It was hell. You talked about it. So yeah, I get irritated when I hear people, Cody is showing what a Cody really is, or VA showed who VA really is. Usually these are guys making these comments have never been out of their mama's basement, and they're sitting behind their keyboard being a warrior, and it drives me nuts. Get out there and actually play the game. Then you can talk.
It wasn't even the keyboard warrior stuff. And again, here we are and how this show is different than all the others, and why, frankly, I won't say it's better, but I will definitely say it's different, and that's why people like it. You say keyboard warriors. They suck too, but they don't have any balls whatsoever, like none. So they don't bother me. But the one night with McCallum, after he missed the 18-yard field goal in the overtime of the 2004 West Final, it was only a couple of weeks later. I was in the bar with him. I know, shocking. The pump. And a guy came up and spit in his face.
See, that would...
I saw it with my own eyes. So what Kevin's saying is, how did he last a year after that?
Did he just hide? Like, how do you go out with your family? He has children.
Yeah, Paul's... He's not the kind of guy to hide.
No, well, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And, I'm glad he ended up in BC and had a great career in BC.
Well, and by the way, I think that's a people thing. I don't think it's a Rider fan thing.
No, that's a people thing.
Yeah, Jeff, the Stamps fan, says maybe Rider fans are their own worst enemies sometimes. I only reference that because I was there and I saw it. I'm sure there's Flames players that would have stories, or Leaf players or whatever.
I'm sure there's Stamp fans.
Well, look at Derek Jeter.
That are just as bad.
Derek Jeter couldn't leave his downtown condo in New York, right? Like it's a people thing. It's not a Rider thing. Well, maybe not. Nelson, our VP of Sim Fans, writes in and says, Rider fans are the real problem. We literally have nothing else to care about in this province, so we fixate on Rider football, and fans are not afraid to say or do things to players' faces. Meanwhile, John Ohm says, Rider fans rock. I will never apologize for being one, period. Nobody's saying we have to, but you also don't live there, John. There's a very big difference. There's a very big difference.
Big difference. I mean, there's no other fan in the CFL that'll literally tattoo their team on themselves. I've seen it twice in the last month. Rider fans having tattoos, and not small indiscreet tattoos, big tattoos. Like, they live this. This is their passion, unlike any other fan in the CFL.
Well, we're getting somewhat derailed here. Leanne in Regina says, why does Cody's past seasons have to keep being brought up? Let's all move on. That is a great comment by her. But in this world, particularly sports, it's always going to come up. It's just always going to come up.
And it's not just sports, Rod. Your past is brought up on a regular basis to you and about you. So it's not just a sports thing. It's a life thing.
So you have to deal with that because you can't control other people.
I get it. I get it all the time with my politics in the past. It's always brought up.
Craig in Toronto from the Hockey Hall of Fame says, good on Randy. What are we talking about? Did we reference a Randy?
I don't remember referencing Randy.
Can you be more specific, Craig? Are you watching the right show?
He's been drinking out of the cup.
Have you been drinking out of the cup, Craig? A little early to be drinking? No?
Hey, I'm going to be in Toronto in end of July. We're going to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So
look him up.
I'm going to look you up.
Oh, it's so much fun. Budget at least a half a day, maybe a full day.
That's the plan.
I wouldn't necessarily advocate everybody do this, but it certainly worked for Buffalo Bill.
You're very attractive.
You're very attractive. This is my friend who came up from the U.S. of A. Happy Independence Day, by the way, Buffalo Bill. He came up here and spent a week with me, and we had such a big old time. I still have the photos of it. And he says, I am now a fan of the CFL. Calgary was eye-opening. Point being, he was a Rider fan, but he's not just a Rider fan anymore. He dropped $800 in the Stampeders store.
And he was cheering for the Argos last night.
Yeah, well, he goes, it's great to be a fan of the whole league. I know it's very difficult for a lot of people to get their head around. Trust me, I get it. But you look at my closet. It's got gear of almost every team. so I can walk into any arena or stadium and wear the gear and be the part. And you know how it started, by the way, on all those sports trips that I did, which, by the way, we haven't got ours planned yet. But everywhere I went,
we're planning it as we speak.
Yeah, I would buy gear wherever we were. Tampa Bay, Phoenix, Dallas, San Diego, Los Angeles, New York, whatever. Because I didn't want to look like a tourist. I wanted to fit in.
I do that with hats. I have hats from every arena I've been to.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah. So I started accumulating stuff, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. And then you just jump from one team to another. You go into a stadium, and everybody likes you. Because I went into Rexall Place back in the day wearing a Dallas Stars jersey when I was a Stars fan. And I for 26 years, I was a Stars fan when my dad worked for them.
Well, of course.
It was not pleasant. People were yelling at me, throwing beer on me, dumping beer on me.
Oh, really?
Or maybe I was dumping beer on myself. I can't remember. Either way, it wasn't pleasant. What?
Dumping beer on yourself would probably be more of the... Yeah, I can see that.
Oh. Craig was referring to Randy from Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
But we don't know what the comment was. Here he goes. He goes, as a Bomber fan, I wish all teams well. CFL needs 9 supportive franchises. 25 to 30,000 fans for every game would be awesome. I wonder if we're getting there. We got a break. We'll be right back with Overtime. We're live from Ace Casino Airport and Hotel Clique, Calgary Airport on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Looking to buy a pre-owned vehicle? With the largest selection of quality pre-owned vehicles in the Parkland, you're sure to find it at Key Auto Group. We'll treat you right every time, and it's all just a click away at keyautogroup.ca.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Just over 7 minutes left.
Here we go, everybody. If you can believe it's our last day for now at Ace Casino Airport in Calgary. But every day's happy hour from 2 to 5 p.m. 25% off appetizers and $5.25 domestic beer and highballs. It's overtime for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, and I laugh because Buffalo Bill has written in, who, by the way, is also Steven from North Dakota, as we can bring in Kevin, the medium here. And you're laughing, too. We're smiling. He's had a lot of comments today. He says, I miss the mountains. You're very attractive.
Which mountains is he referring to?
Yeah, which mountains are you referring to, Buffalo Bill? And he says, he goes, thanks for the great week and show. It's only Tuesday. The week's not, we just started the week.
I think he was talking about the week he was here.
I know. I honestly know. I'm just having fun.
Hey, before we move on, can we talk about our last day at this great location for a while?
Whatever you want.
How awesome Ace Casino and all their staff, from Jen, Amanda, Kim, everybody over at the poker room. They've been Marlene. They've been amazing to us, and I look forward to coming back at one point.
Okay, one thing about Ace Casino Airport, and I'm going over to Grey Eagle tonight. We're great friends with those guys. I don't know if I told you that. I'm going to Cody Snyder's Bull Bustin' tonight.
And I didn't get invited.
I only have one pass.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why.
Okay.
There's your answer. So here's the big difference. It's a different clientele. Everything's different.
Oh, yes.
Right? Both casinos. But the people are great in both places. And so the other day, I was getting banana bread at the counter, and Brenda, you know the great Brenda? She's like a
Brenda's
host.
amazing.
Yeah. So she goes, put that on my tab. Marlene, put that on my tab. She says that.
Nice.
And I'm like, Brenda, you don't have to do that. That's so nice of you. And Marlene, she looks like a friend of mine. They look like they could, I'm not going to say any more than that. She looks like she could be twins with my friend. She goes, are you going to put that on your blog?
On your blog?
Yeah, she like leaned over the counter. Are you going to put that on your blog?
She reads it daily.
How do you know? I looked you up. And yesterday, I was having breakfast here at Hotel Clique, and the server, the one that won Server of the Year, the month, the photos on the wall, she goes, congratulations on your sobriety. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I looked you up. I Googled it. And I'm like, I'm afraid of what you found. And she goes, 8 years sober, way to go. You look so good. You look so happy. And I said, I am all of those things. So thank you. So that's just a nice vibe. Yes. Grey Eagle has it too.
Yes, they both do.
They both do.
Yes, definitely. I'm obviously partial to this one because I come here to play poker, and I think this poker room by far is the best poker room in Calgary. If you like poker, come down, check it out. And it's not only because I won the tournament last Friday. It's because the staff.
Congratulations. You're not dropping
good.
any names or bragging.
No, I wasn't bragging at all.
You're pulling a BC Lion. Randy from Winnipeg says Canada's casinos are fighting for the RP show. Nice. Not complaining. And if you could get some casinos in Winnipeg off their ass, I'd love to come out there. But why would we when they're rolling out the red carpet here?
Well, we still want to come out there for the Banjo Bowl. So if anybody listening in Winnipeg wants to host us for the Banjo Bowl, reach out.
Yeah, I'm just, again, after being very clearly shown where, let's just say it's very clear where we're wanted, and that's where we're going to be. I'm done talking about SAS quarterbacks and why they left. It's a favorite pastime. Nelson said it earlier. We can sit and talk about this forever. How and why Ken Austin left. How and why Cody Fajardo. I don't want to do that today. But
you could do that for 2 hours.
Do you feel, and I did, that ain't my job anymore.
Yes.
Did the BC Lions get too cocky?
You know, it was funny. Jake and I were talking about that during the game. Our line is, did they read their own press? I don't know if it was a case of reading their own press or they just came in and expected Toronto to play a different game. I think Toronto just out-coached them, outplayed them. Toronto wasn't running the ball the way they have in past games. They were throwing the ball way more. So, yeah, I mean, Toronto, full credit for the win. Did Vernon Adams have a bad game? Yeah, but, well, Toronto won.
I had this epiphany. Someone would say I was guided with this. I don't want to be the guy to sit and complain about how much better it was in the old days. But it was.
It was.
And I'll tell you, 25 years ago, the people on TSN, the broadcasters, would have been calling it the Braley Bowl. They would have been. But nobody was referring it to as such.
No, it would surprise me because it used to be referred to as...
Well, when it was actually the Braley Bowl, when he owned both teams, but he doesn't anymore. We're talking about David Braley, owned both the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions. It's such a CFL thing. It's like, on one hand, the CFL wants to run away from what it is and its history.
Yes.
Yet on the other hand, that's what made the CFL cool and well-known. Do you know what I mean?
I do. And it drives me... you can still cherish your past as you move to the future. You don't have to forget it.
Well, and I don't know... Hey, who the hell am I? I don't have the answer to this. John in Winnipeg says, we love you in Winnipeg, Rod. Get your butt down here. That's why, I'll say it, I can't go back to those old jobs because, like Peter Lavardis, who tried to get on the air today, he's not available because he's broadcasting the Brick Hockey Tournament in Edmonton. He's happy. Right? Why would you leave the Flames to go broadcast a minor hockey tournament? Because he is happy doing it. You know, like me, former CFL PR guy who's not with the CFL anymore, but we're good friends, used to say, would you stop, Rod, bringing up the 90s CFL?
Why?
And the Birmingham Barracudas and the Memphis Mad Dogs. And I'm like, why? He goes, because it's embarrassing. It was an embarrassing part of our history. The CFL 90s experiment was the drunk uncle at the family gatherings. Just leave him in the corner. Don't talk about him. That doesn't solve anything.
I laugh because I've been that drunk uncle.
So have I. I've been the drunk son, dad, uncle. Hey, how's it going, man? So, I don't know where we're going to be. I know tomorrow I'm on the way to Charlotte, North Carolina. Moose will have the show on Thursday. We'll be live from Charlotte, North Carolina, and the USA Football IFAF Championships and NFL flag. And would you keep an eye on Calgary for us?
We will do that. We will keep it nice and warm and ready for your
Have
return.
a great Stampede, everybody. Tomorrow, back on the air at noon Eastern here on Game Plus. And the key... Who has more fun than us?